See, Bitcoin is not something that the banking sector has been experimenting with at all. What the banking sector is looking at is using the technology behind it, that's the blockchain technology, in solving some of its other problems. For instance, in the State Bank of India, we've been looking at using the shared ledger technology to address things like our supply chain issues. And therefore, I don't think Bitcoin as such will directly impact banks. And until and unless a currency is something that has the backing of the central bank, it would be difficult for it to have any kind of real impact in the country. What is happening now is that private players are sort of speculating on the value of the currency. It's just like any other commodity. It's not a currency, so to speak, and therefore it will not directly impact banks. When the private banks were first allowed to be set up in the country, there was a lot of noise that the private sector banks wouldn't be able to withstand the onslaught, mainly because these banks came with state-of-the-art technology and public sector banks had no technology at all. Plus, it had a very difficult legacy. However, since those days, though, the public sector lost a lot of space and market share. However, quite a few of the public sector banks, including State Bank of India, clawed back all the market share that it had lost. What the public sector really needs to do is to up its game as well. In a way, it's good if they have competition that will force them to up their game. But I do believe, in the longer run, it is something that will benefit the whole banking sector. See, the fact of the matter is that when you are lending to sectors that are subpar, what you really need to create amongst them is also a credit absorption capacity. Imagine a small plot of land, okay? And now you pour water on top of the plot of land. Will it absorb? All that will happen is you will have a flood. And in the flood, the topsoil will also get swept away. So that is precisely what happens when you try to do forced lending. Forced lending is not something that enables any sector at all to really come up. For a sector to come up, you have to prepare it. Just as you prepare the land for absorbing the nutrients from whatever is being put on it, so also you have to create the absorption capacity for credit. How do you go about doing that, I think, is where we really need to work. And that's one of the reasons why the banks today, and in fact the State Bank of India is a leader there as well, we have something like 154 rural training centers, where on a regular basis we are training people and then setting them up in business or placing them in jobs. I think many more such efforts need to be done. The National Skill Mission that is currently working has its job really cut out, because at the end of the day, if you want people to take money, borrow money, leverage it, make it productive, make it efficient, then you have to give them the right kind of skill sets to enable them to do it.